Forest Woods Media brings you 20th Century Poets. Now listen to this minute commentary on Louise Bogan, journalist, poet, poetry consultant to the Library of Congress, 1945 to 1946, a term now named U.S. Poet Laureate.
Louise Marie Bogan said she spent her whole life with two friends, sorrow and love. She called love a word for her romantic attachment and saw this as the cause of sorrow. If ever we look at writers of great accomplishment, we assume they should be happy. We find that no amount of satisfied ambition in itself can keep away those stalkers, sorrow, and unfulfilled love. Perhaps it is a factor that ambition was not a female property at the mid-20th century, and so when it was rewarded, there was little psychological preparation and few role models. Louise Bogan, in spite of a fragile emotional life and unsettling lifestyle, managed to leave some of the most distinguished writing of our time. She was a cultural historian, translator, reviewer, poet. Her prose and syntax, vocabulary, and lyricism is exquisite, not precious, exquisite, clear, analytical, and graceful. It is unimaginable that she is not known more today as a great literary figure in the 20th century. She, like Stephen Crane, brought journalism and art together, combining the artist's sensibilities and the reporter's authority. If we attempt to define energy in writing, we look for a kind of verve, and she had it, with convictions that grounded her unflagging opinions. Art is where she endowed her spiritual life, and we are the benefactors of this now, for as time passes, her presence seems more powerful. Louise Bogan's poetry is not confessional. She detested this school of writing, but it is revealing for its honesty and lack of shame. Her poetry is complex, accessible, and unflinching. Apparently, Louise Bogan's most successful relationship was with her own psyche and with her own aesthetic standards and the history of aesthetics. The book Achievements in American Poetry is a necessary and comprehensive set of essays about just that. America's Poetry from the Beginning to the Middle of the 20th Century by Louise Bogan. Poets who write prose do prose a favor. Now here's a poem by Louise Bogan. It's called The Frightened Man. In fear of the rich mouth, I kissed the thin. Even that was a trap to snare me in. Even she, so long, the frail, the scentless, is become strong and proves relentless. Oh, forget her praise and how I sought her through a hazardous maze by shafted water. I'm Grace Cavalieri.
Funding is provided by the Snippet Fund. Our producer is Jack Tarashuk. Our engineer is Mike Turpin.